middleweight contest scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds of action. With on my left, Sуннат Ильясов! And on my right, gentleman, James E. Nicole! You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Bring it on!
Go round one, guys, and James said he would make his size tell. He does have a good size advantage when you saw them both together there.
I think the height advantage is definitely going to be to his favor while standing, but will Sуннат take him to the ground?
I think Sунnat will try to take it. He's got great wrestling ability. Some good low kick shooting in there.
But we know as well that James has got very good all-round ability, but the first shoot comes from Sунnat.
Yeah, it was a shoot off a good left hook to the head, which really woke James up.
Good knees to the midsection by James E. Nicole.
And James is cut under the left eye already from that short uppercut.
Sунnat, who is a southpaw, is throwing a really deceptive straight left hand right down the pike, and it's catching James early.
Nice attempt in Nicole. Sунnat follows up with one of his own. James's eye seems to be causing him some sort of difficulty.
Yes, I think he seemed to say to Leon there that maybe there was a finger in the eye, but I think it's the accuracy at the moment of Sунnat.
Yeah, his accuracy, he's got short, compact punches, and he's not afraid of the stand-up war so far.
Very good shots inside.
And Roberts, from a position like this, we saw Sунnat's last win, wasn't it?
It was very similar. Reached in, got the guillotine choke very easy and very quickly.
Right now it's the over-under clinch, which is anybody's game, although it technically would favor the taller man, which would be Nicole with the knee factor, because Sунnat has got more distance to reach to land the knee to the midsection, although he could land the knee to the leg. But Leon Roberts out of three is restarting them in the center.
Now, with his recent form, what do you think being cut so early will do to James' psychology in this fight?
Well, the moment he realized he was cut, he stepped back, but now he's stepping forward again. I don't think it's going to be a factor, because this, in his mind, is a must-win situation coming off 2 straight losses here in Cage Rage.
That's right, Sунnat moving around very confidently, smiling at James, trying to lure him in.
Well, in contrast, this is Sунnat's big debut, as it were, on the bigger stage, so he'll want to impress for different reasons, won't he?
Yeah, impress indeed. Sунnat has shown aggression, and he got a cut early, but right now there's been a slight slowdown in what he's been able to offer so far here.
James Nichols is really working the left-hand side of Sунat's ribcage. You can see from the guys are starting to redden up. Those body shots are landing nicely, and he's throwing in a short knee every now and again. Sунnat looking for the underhook, trying to get James Nichols to his back on the mat. His position goes upstairs with some very good shots, good combination of strikes.
There's one thing about Sунnat, he's not afraid to throw punches and bunches and to brawl a little bit, and that's what he needs to do because of the height and length disadvantage he faces in this fight.
He's very well conditioned, and he needs to be, because, Rob, as you said, James has set out his stall with those knees to the midsection.
That's right, and they are some good shots. You can see the left-hand side of Sунat's body. Very, very red marks from those short shots that he was throwing in and the short knees.
There's one thing I noticed about Sунnat. When he moves back, he moves straight back, and that could be a problem because James could throw a straight right and catch him.
James, the aggressor at the moment, just constantly driving forward. Do you think this is something that Sунat's playing to?
Well, he suddenly shot forward there, didn't he, Stephen? And you were saying, I would disagree slightly, Rob. I feel that although James was coming forward, it was very tentative.
It is tentative, and some of those kicks he's throwing are tentative as well. I think his key factor here that James should be throwing punches, and forget about the kicks momentarily, because it's the advantage that he has with the length of his arms that will be a factor here, but he's got to be fast with it.
I think also adding to the difficulty is the fact that Sunnat's a southpaw. I think he's finding it very difficult.
Well, he's felt that short left hand, that's for sure.
At the end of the first round, as James Nicole has stalked Sunnat.
And that was that left hand we talked about, Stephen, the way, as you said, Sunnat's not afraid to mix it up, is he?
No, he's not. He's coming forward, brawling, almost showing no respect for the power of James Nicole.
So here we go, round 2 of 3. And just before the restart, James and his corner were angry about the time it took for Sunnat's cornerman to get out. And I'm just wondering if those knees have finally taken just a little bit of steam out of the man.
It's possible, but we got our first takedown. It was off a single leg by Sunnat, who's now on top with a good left hand. Got to watch out for that armbar. Now, those of you that don't know the techniques of jiu-jitsu, James is going to go for an armbar here, but Sunnat slips out.
James almost in a very bad position, but did a great job of turning. You can hear the crowd appreciation.
And that is something I want to pick up on already. Straight away, the crowd, what a response to this fight.
They're really into this fight because James is a very popular fighter here. And Sunnat, as you know, has fought locally as well.
That's right. Very explosive fight.
And again, I think it's worth mentioning as well that each and every cage rage, our crowd becomes more knowledgeable.
Yes, they do. And something like this, which is an over-under clinch, we're seeing a slowdown here in the action, and it may be up to the referee to restart them in the center of the ring again.
Well, as you said that, Stephen, Leon warned them that he would do that. We saw him do it in the first round, and he's going to do it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what though, guys? I've got to be honest, I think this is suiting James Nichols. If you notice, when they get tight high in that clinch, he's throwing in the short body shots and the knees and just working the left-hand side of Sunnat's body.
Sunnat got the takedown early. Will he dive in again? We're going to see. He's probably going to wait for James to commit to a punch to the head and try and duck under.
He is also blowing quite heavily at times. Do you feel that maybe stamina could be a factor here? As we said, his last fight was very, very quick, Rob.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he does it, as you say, he looks like he's blowing. He's starting to back away a bit. Good high kick by James Nicole, and again.
One thing is for sure is Sunnat, he needs to be on the inside throwing hooks and uppercuts because being on the outside favors James. And he's lunging in wildly now, so he doesn't quite have the accuracy he had in round number 1.
The one thing he does have in his favour, though, is that cut under the eye is widening, and each time he hits it, it gets wider still. It's bleeding freely again, and surely for me, that would be an area to try and exploit.
And that would probably be his right hand, either a hook or a straight right, because that would land to the left side of James's head.
I think you were right, Malcolm, in saying that Sunnat's starting to breathe heavy. He certainly does look like he's breathing a little bit heavier and getting a bit heavier on his feet.
So this would be the perfect time for James to go to the body. James might want to throw that straight right hand to the body and maybe finish with a left hook to the head. That may be a good combination here.
Sunnat just exploding with the odd shot here and there. Well, James seems to stall. Good leg kick.
So far, with 1 minute 30 left, this is a James Nicole round.
Good midsection kick there, though, from Sunnat.
I've got to be honest though, guys, watching this now, it looks as though it's playing towards James Nichole's plan. He seems to be picking Sunnat off with the leg kicks, with the body shots, all that seem to be slowing Sunnat down.
The explosiveness from Sunnat takes a lot out of the cardio. And And so James is pressing the action.
That, though, Stephen, is where Sуннат is good, isn't it? When he does come forward, he throws those clusters of punches.
Yeah, it's a big explosive burst, and that is where he's dangerous. That's where he opened that cut earlier.
Seems to work really well for him at short range.
Interesting thing, James Nicole went to the body with that straight right hand.
Twice there, Steve, as you were saying earlier.
Sуннат gets the takedown.
James with a good sweep.
Beautiful sweep. James standing back up, double underhooks now. Expect a knee or an uppercut. Oh, nice uppercut by Nicole. It only grazed off the chin of Sунnat. Sунnat's getting tired here.
And we're in the last 10 seconds of the second round. So is this a reversal now? Do we see this clearly in favour of Nicole this second round?
With the right shots, if we look here.
Here he picks off that single leg.
Good takedown.
Gets top position, and we have the half butterfly guard there of James E. Nicole trying to block the punches. But once he gets back up, Sуннат does land a good right hand there, and that's what widened that cut, Malcolm.
Yes, but overall, as we said, this was in bursts, wasn't it?
It was in bursts, and here you see that reversal right there, and get back to standing with the double underhook position. Good knee there by James Nicole. Nicole won that round.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Right back, James. Right back. You ready? Bring it on.
Here we go, the third and final round. And is it fair to say we've got this perfectly balanced?
I think so. Definitely up to now. It's a well-matched fight. Question for you though, Stephen, if you was in James's corner, what would your strategy be for this third round?
My strategy would be throw the punches a little bit lower. Aim just below his chin in case he ducks under, because if you throw him too high, he's going to get another takedown. Also, have that right knee waiting for the takedown. We know that Sуннат is going to come in bursts over the top and be dangerous with that right hand. But notice that Sуннat is circling to his right. That's to get out of the way of the right hand and the right kick of Nicole.
And there's those shots to the body you mentioned. James seems to be getting his act together, as we say, and thinking a lot more about the placement of those shots.
Yeah, he's really calmed down because he had to weather a little bit of a storm in that first round because Sунnat was dangerous and coming through with those bone-crunching flurries. But Sунnat has tired. We saw him in his corner with his mouth wide open. But he's always dangerous with that single bomb, like right there. That did land a little bit on the shoulder, not the chin of Nicole.
But Rob, Nicole has coped well, hasn't he, with the cut from round one?
He has coped very well. The Cutchman did a fantastic job of cleaning it up. But it seems to be becoming quite frustrating for Nicole. Sунnat keeps circling, but now they're getting into it. And James E. Nicole again to the left-hand side of the body, and you can see Sунat's trying to use the hand to cover it.
Nicole landed two short, clean uppercuts in that clinch, and those were a factor. And look who dives in for the takedown, wanting to escape from standing position. And James blocks the takedown. Beautiful. He's got to get some underhooks, though. He's got to put his arm in between his arm and raise Sунnat back up.
Sунnat holding on to them legs. Maybe looking for the energy to burst into a takedown.
All James has to do right here is relax and put his weight on Sунnat and let Sунnat do all the work.
Sунnat looking maybe to go for a single leg. Try and pull James to the cage floor.
Overall, though, the fight has followed a very similar pattern, hasn't it, across all three rounds?
It really has, because we know that Sунnat is dangerous with his brawling punches, and he's got the takedown, and takedowns do score in with the judges. He gets another takedown there, but what will he do with the takedown? He's susceptible to be kicked in the face here by the up kick of James Nicole.
James in a very defensive position, trying to use his feet, keep Sунnat at bay.
James throwing low kicks down at the knee and the shin. Not much happening there. Referee restarts them standing. Another dive-in takedown attempt by Sуннат. Sуннат trying to pick off that right leg again. James Nicole blocking the takedowns so far.
We have under 2 minutes left now. We have on your scorecards a round each. Who's taking this at the moment?
Ooh, you know, 2 takedowns. Those factor in the scoring, but again, what my friend Boss Wooten always says, if a wrestler takes you down, what can he do with the takedown? Can he do damage? He hasn't been able to pass the guard of James Nicole, and he hasn't been able to land a clean shot, so those takedowns aren't as consequential to the scoring so far. But James, even though he was more accurate in the early part of the round, we have a very close round here.
And in all fairness, I think James will take it on ring control. Let's not forget they spent the majority of the first round with Sуннат moving around the outside with James chasing him down.
And that first takedown that Sуннат got earlier in the round, he was afraid to dive in for the up kick, might catch him on the chin. So he was tentative even though he got the takedown.
But if he manages to maintain this position as we close this round out, will that be a factor?
I think it will, unless James Nicole can loosen up his guard, bring his legs up around the shoulders, and go for a submission of some kind, triangle choke or armbar. If James continues with a closed guard, it's going to look better to the judges for the man on top, and that would be Sунnat.
You see James now trying to bring his legs high up the back, maybe to switch for an armbar or possibly a triangle choke. And there we go, he's switching to the armbar. He locks it in nice and tight, so they're doing the right thing. You can see elbows extended as James Nicole pushing his kicks to the elbow joint during the last 10 seconds.
Oh, this is going to be tough. Sуннat could be in trouble here. You can't knee the opponent to the head. He can't stop the knee.
And that's how would have come soon enough for him.
I think that armbar attempt at the last hour of this round.
Looking at the replay, you can see Sунnat looks for that single leg, stalks the single leg, sweeps James down beautifully.
But Steve, the reason I'm going to agree with you and go with Nicole is he really did nothing after that. He did nothing to exploit those situations.
Right, and he had to really fight for those takedowns because James blocked those takedowns for almost a minute each when he was in the low clinch. And again,
Ladies and gentlemen, after 15 minutes of middleweight action, we go to the judges' scorecards. And we have a winner by majority decision, gentlemen.